Okay, so here we are. We have this first table here. So the table shows the value in dollars of a motorcycle at the end of X years. All right. So we have a table here. Okay, 0, 9,000, 1, 8,100, 2, 7,920, 3, 6,561. Which exponential function models this equation? Okay, so on your little roadmap, we have sort of what we're going to type in for the exponential function. Y'all with me on that? Okay. I didn't give you the answer choices on here because this will have a multiple choice thing, but I want us to sort of do it without the four possible answer choices here. Whether we have the answer choices or not, we're going to learn how to do this. All right. So first thing that we want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we want to make this table. Okay. We want to make this table. So come in here to our calculator. All right. We're going to come up here. I got to grab one of these sheets. All right. And then our first thing, we're going to hit this plus symbol right here. Table. Now, also, guys, my Algebra 2 people struggle with this too. Make sure you don't use the commas when you type the numbers in because it won't recognize it. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot this table that we're given. So we have 0 and 9,000, and we have 8,100 and, 1 and 8,100, and we have 2 and 7,290, and we have 3 and 6,561. Okay? So please take a moment and type that in. All right. So we're just copying down the table again. So in the first little row, we're gonna hit the plus sign, hit the table button, and we're gonna plot this table right here. All right. Now the question said is what kind of function here? Was it linear, quadratic, or exponential? It said exponential, okay? So on our little cheat sheet there, what does it say that we have to type in for exponential? Okay, and what your name was Madison? What was your name? Kennedy, okay. I know it was a presidential name. All right, so Y1 and then say it again. Okay, so AB to the X1 power right there, okay? Now, the Y1 and the X1 are important, ladies and gentlemen, because what we're doing is, y'all see our table has X1 and Y1 up here? All right, so we need our equation to have X1 and Y1 because our equation needs to pull from this table right here. Okay, you guys with me on that? So when we go to the second row, we're going to type Y1, squiggly, which is, you have to hit the shift button for that. Okay, and then it's going to be A, B. Just type Y and 1. Right? And it's going to be AB to the exponent of X1. I don't know why my screen's all blurry like that. Probably because I'm recording, but hopefully we kind of see what's happening here. So we have Y1, squiggly, AB to the X1. Again, we're doing that because it said the function was exponential. You're going to hit shift and it's a button right above the tab. Okay, so after we type this in, when we scroll down here, we look under the statistics and stuff like that. Okay, under here it's going to give us an A and a B. Okay, it's going to give us an A and a B. So what happens here now is we could type in our A and our B for our A and our B. So now the actual equation is going to be y equals A, which is 9,000, times B, which is 0.9, to the power of x. Okay, so we take the table, we do this little thing right here. This thing is going to spit out our A and our B. And now we can plug in our A here. And we plug in our B there.
So you fill in that formula in. So this is their handout. They can write on it.
Yeah, it's theirs. It's theirs.
So y'all can write those notes on your handout next to your table to remind you what you did. Okay. So go ahead and write that down so you remember what you did on that first problem and how you fill it in. Okay, so on the first problem, write that note down. Did y'all get it all on your screen? Perfect. Yeah, because you've got your A and the B that we talked about. Yeah, so this is the formula. So on the STAR test, when they ask you for an exponential function, that's the exponential formula. And so I would write that down first, just as a reminder to yourself. And then down below, fill it in, because this is what they'll want as an answer.
All right. Give me a thumbs up if you got that on your thing. Okay. Harper, you good? You have it? That's your name, right? Harper?
Yeah.
Okay. You have it? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so we have to make a table, so hit plus. Okay, we're going to make a table with those 4 points that they give us here. So 0, 9,000, 180, 100, 279, 7290. Make sure you don't put any commas either, okay?
So that's what they would ask you basically for on the test itself. So likewise, you write it down just like they did off to the side.
My man, you good over there? You got it down? Okay. All right. So it looks like we're all pretty good here. And so I want to do 2 more examples, and I'll have you guys do the last couple on your own. So that's an exponential. I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen here. All right. So next one. A system of linear equations is represented by line H and line J. So a table representing some points on line H and the graph on line J are shown. Okay. So we're gonna have to do 2. We're gonna have to do it twice here, but that's okay. All right. So let's start with the table. Okay, we have line H. Okay, so we'll hit plus, hit table, and we're gonna plot our points. We have negative 16, 7, negative 8, 1, negative 4, negative 2, 12, negative 14. All right, so we have our table here. We'll plot those 4 points. Now, this one tells us it's what kind of shape, or what kind of function, excuse me. It's linear, okay? It's a linear function. So we need to use the linear thing when we come down here. So what is the linear thing that we're going to type in? y1 squiggly mx1 plus b, okay? Now, we all know that linear functions are y equals mx plus b. Again, we need to do y1 and x1 because y1 and x1 tell us that we're going to pull from that table there. Okay? If we don't do y1 and x1, it's not going to know what to pull, and it's not going to generate an m and a b for us. Okay? So we have to make sure that we have, y1 squiggly mx1 plus b. So when we come under here, again, we have our thing. So we have y1 squiggly mx1 plus b.
So I also noticed that as you did the table, it went ahead and plotted those individual points that line ran through.
Sure.
So you saw some semblance of that line.
Yep. Okay. So when it sees under here where it says parameters, it's going to generate our m and our b, our slope and our y-intercept. Okay. So our slope and our y-intercept there, we have negative 0.75 as our m and negative 5 as our b. So we know that what's going to happen is our first line, which is line h, okay, the equation for h is going to be y equals negative 0.75x minus 5. Okay? So our line h is going to be y equals negative 0.75x minus 5.
Now, if you don't recognize 0.75, what that is,
It was negative 0.75.
You can type that into one of the lines. So if you type it in one of the lines, you can then press, there's a button on it that'll pop up and you can press it into a fraction. So if you're not familiar with what it is as a fraction, since all they give you are fractions in the answer choices, you can convert this using Desmos.
So if we have negative 0.75, is that in the functions thing?
No, just the circle off to the left.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. Okay, cool. So negative 0.75 is really negative 3/4. Okay, so for h, y is going to be negative 3/4 x minus 5.
When you typed, you had to match that table. So if you change those to 2's, it'll work. Are you keeping the running list or anything? No. So just pay attention to the top. And when it popped up, it decided to do subscript 2, so you'll have to do subscript 2.
All right. So that's how we got line h, but it's asking for a system of equations. The system of equations means there's 2. Okay? The system of equations means there's 2. So we have to do line j. Okay, well, line j, they give us a graph. Y'all with me on that? Okay, so on a graph, if you look off to the right, we can use the graph to locate points. Okay? You see how there's 2 points on that graph that are there? So what we can do is we'll locate the points and we'll put the points back in our table right here. Okay? So what we can do is we can leave everything here. We'll just change our table up and put the points of the other graph in this table here. So if we're looking at J, which is the graph, I know it's kind of hard to see, but can anybody tell me what the 2 points are on that graph? So negative 4.6 is 1. Okay. Negative 4, negative 4? 4, negative 4. Okay. So we type in our 2 points on the other graph, negative 4, 6, 4, negative 4. All right. So our graph J, it gives us a new M and a new B. So we have negative 1.25x, because negative 1.25 is our M, and our B is 1. And again, as Mr. Menace said a minute ago, if we type in negative 1.25 in there and just hit this little circle button, it converts to a fraction of negative 5/4. Okay, so really we have negative 5/4 x plus 1. Oh, shucks. I think I may have cut off one of the answer choices.
Oh, and you did.
I did.
On this one?
Yeah, on the second one, yeah.
J.
Answer choice J, I forgot. My screenshot must have.
But I
cut
think
short.
J is the only one.
It's the only one.
Which is the first part.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But here's our two equations. It's negative 3/4 x minus 5 for H, and then J is negative 5/4 x plus 1.
So below, can you add the one that he accidentally cut off, or just make sure?
Yeah, make sure you write that down.
Yeah, because it should have been there. It's just.
Yeah, my screenshot must have cut it off. Yes.
I really don't know that.
Go ahead. Everybody good? Okay. And again, I'm recording this, and I'm gonna once it's done, it'll take the video a little while, but I'll put it on that classroom that we have for the Math Blitz or whatever. So if you need to go back and have a refresher on this, it'll be up there for you guys if you need to. Okay. Let's do one more together, and we'll do the third one. Okay. Yeah. So it's the next one. Yeah, a person dives into a pool. That one? Yeah. All right. So we'll clear our screen. Okay, so we see this thing here. We see a table of points. Who can tell me, somebody that's not Miss Kennedy over there, because she's kind of carrying a load for us right now, what would be a good idea to do first? Nate?
I think you should ask Kennedy.
No, I'm going to ask you.
You fill it out on the chart.
You make the table.
Or, yeah, on the table.
Yeah, you make the table. So again, we'll come into our first row right here. Hit the plus sign, table. And we're going to go to make our points. 1, negative 2.85. 4, negative 8.28. 6, negative 9.3. 8.5, negative 7.65. 10, 5.1. Is it? Negative 5.1, excuse me. All right. And then we got 11.5, negative 1.38. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of function does this tell us that we have here? Is it linear, quadratic, or exponential? It's quadratic. It's a quadratic function, okay? So on the quadratic function, we have y1 squiggly ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c. Yes. So quadratic function, okay, it tells us there, it says the data can be modeled by a quadratic function, right? So on your little cheat sheet, we know quadratic is y1 squiggly ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c. Okay, so ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c. Let me retype this again so you guys can follow along here. Okay, so y1, don't do the squared before you do the x1. Just so we have ax1 squared plus bx1 plus c. Okay. So we see our a value is what? 0.26, okay? So we're going to have 0.26x squared, right? And what's our b value that they give us? Negative 3.11. Okay. Now our c value, this is kind of tough to see. Our c value is 8.155 times 10 to the negative 16th power. Okay. Is that going to be a really big number or a really small number? Let me ask y'all this. Yeah, well, it has the negative 16th power, so it's a really, really small number, right? Now, we have two answer choices here. It could either be, plus 1 or plus 0, correct? If you look at our two answer choices here, as we come, I'm going to come back to this thing here. So looking at our answer choices, we either have negative 0.26x squared minus 311x plus nothing plus 0, or we have negative 3.11x plus 1. Okay? What do y'all think is closer to that C number? Is that C number closer to 1 or closer to 0? That's C number, 8.1558 times 10 to the negative 16th. It's closer to 0, okay? Now, that C number, and this thing is also our y-intercept. Where's our y-intercept? Is it at 1 up here, or is it at 0? It's at the 0, okay? So it may not be totally exact, but we can see that our C value is our y-intercept right there. It's basically 0. Okay? So it should give us our answer choice there of H. Okay? So our C value is a very, very, very small number that's basically 0. And so that's that. Okay? So we did one of each. We did a quadratic, we did a exponential, and we did really two linears.